Let's take them back to Nigeria and let's teach them a different kind of job.
My guest today is a special package, a total package, if you ask me, achievement personified. She is identified by different people, with different things. For me, she is just all in one, just razzmatazz of what every woman should be. Well, you may know her as a honorable member who represented within a certain period, 2012 to 2015, the federal constituency, precisely in Bayelsa State, the Sagbama Ekeremo Federal Constituency. Some may know her as the voice of the aged and the young women. A lot of people, again, will recognize her as a lady behind the voice in the radio, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Again, she is a lot of things, if you ask me, philanthropist. She is educationist, seasoned one as that. She is one woman who is doing Nigeria proud, doing Bayelsans proud. And I don't know how to empty it, but let me just welcome her. My guest today is High Chief Honorable Dr. Stella Olurotimi Ayamara Dorgu. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you very much.
Your poster said you are 75.
Yes.
The papers say you're 75.
Yes.
But you look 60. Please, what are you doing differently?
I'm living the life that God has given me, the life that He has destined for me to live. And I'm every day grateful for the breath that He has given me. That's what I'm doing.
What is that life? There must be something you are doing. Are you using any kind of, skin enhancer?
No. Not at all. It's Harmattan season.
Okay.
So, I remember one of my bosses. He says, "Madam, you're an alchemist." I say, "Yes, I am an alchemist." An alchemist because after a long time, a dermatologist said that there really isn't much that you can do. Keep your skin moisturized, very well moisturized. Some people even use Vaseline. I've seen people who use Vaseline and their life depends on Vaseline. But I mix Ori,
as a shea butter.
Shea butter. I mix it with any light oil because Ori, you may think that it is
water.
heavy. Yes, it traps water, so you get the moisture trapped in your body. I tell everybody, it was in the early 70s, 1971 or 72, 72 exactly, that I stopped taking sugar.
Oh, that's the secret. Because I'm told that sugar has a way of shrinking your skin.
Yes, and all the sodas, any kind of soda.
So what you do now is water.
Water.
That's why you saddle me with water.
Bring it. Well, and they haven't even done enough. You can either put a slice of lemon in your water. I can't do a lot of lemon, but I do a lot of cucumbers.
Inside the water?
Inside the water. And you will be surprised at the flavor that you get out of drinking cucumber water.
Spiced water. In April, when Alice Tangi Allen won, you did what I like, but maybe not a lot of people would expect that, because you were more like cross-carpeting, so to speak, when you went out of your way to congratulate her, because she wasn't in your party. But the mere fact that she was a woman, you did that. I want to say I really appreciate that.
She's a woman, and that's what we've been advocating, to make sure. Really, when we started this race, when we started this process of saying, give us 35%, give us this, I remember, I'm not very good at remembering, I remember one of our very old politicians from Abeokuta. Many people would say, "Oh, Stella, why have you forgotten?" And she said, we are not challenging the men. We are not intimidating them. We are telling them, we are your partners. So sometimes you know what you need to do to get things from your father. We are a patriarchal society. We've been in this race of making sure that women's voices are heard, because I will use the word, it's unconscionable, really unconscionable, for women to be almost 50% of the population. And look at what we're doing in terms of electoral offices, in terms of decision-making processes, in terms of policies. The equation is not balanced.
Balance at all.
So there was nothing at all strange in me congratulating her, because that's what we want. And we should have more chairmen of local governments.
Sure,
We should, yes. And I can't wait. I'm not looking at Tiabet, who was an acting and became a governor by default of, was it not Anambra State?
It was Anambra.
Yeah, Anambra State. But we're looking to get a woman who would be elected into the position of governor. And that was what I tried to do.
Yes, I recall you were the first Guba aspirant in your state.
Candidate, not aspirant.
Candidate, yes, you did
for
pass
the
that.
Alliance for Democracy.
Okay, and then you eventually came into the House. I mean, in a place where like you mentioned, we're patriarchal in system, where the men, muzzle it up. How did you, survive within that period? Logging horns with them, and then eventually.
I don't know. I really. It wasn't easy.
I know.
It wasn't easy, but it was fun. But I worked.
I like that. It was fun.
It was fun. But I worked for it, and everybody knew that, Stella Dorgu, Dr. Stella Dorgu, is a no-nonsense person. But I try in everything that I do to be as nice as I can be. And my children and my staff say they don't know how I do it, because I'm always smiling.
I was going to ask that.
See, when you smile, you use less muscles than when you frown.
True.
And a smile disarms. And then in Yoruba, they say that ororire lo yo bilapo. So it's the good word that you speak that brings out.
You are Bayelsa Ijo. How do you speak Yoruba like
my mother? My mother is Yoruba.
Okay, that's where the Olurotimi came in. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My mother, she's going to be 98 in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully we're going to push and make sure that she's at least 100 years old.
By pushing me, you're going to be pushing God around.
We're just going to be trying to help God.
Okay.
To make sure that she gets to be 100.
That's a good one. Now, I'm going to go back to the question. Your tenure as the first, as a representative in the Federal House, for Bayelsa, how was it for you?
It was a learning experience. I wish I could have had the opportunity, because one of the things that we don't do enough of is to make sure that you keep the people who are good at it and who want to take something back from the federal. As a unitary system, everything resides at the federal. So you have to work hard to make sure that the roads are done. You see, this is a federal road, this is this, this is that. If we're able to do proper federalism, proper restructuring, then we won't be doing so much angling to be at the federal level. Even the presidency will not be as rosy, will not be as attractive. You just want to be there because you know that just by signing, you're going to make better policies, you're going to make sure that there is better growth, more development for the country. I wish I had more time, but where we come from, and in Nigeria generally, especially in the south, we do the rotational. No, not one term. We do the rotational system, and then with Sagbama and Ekeremo, I was actually completing His Excellency Seriake Dixon's term. He had served out 1 year, almost 1 year, and so I went in, and it was because I deserved it. I knew that I deserved it because I worked very hard for his campaign. I initiated the Keme to Keme, almost
Keme
like
to Keme.
Keme to Keme.
Okay.
It's almost like a person to person. Keme is human being, man in our place. So it was like a man to man, down to the grassroots process where
Which
we
is
were
what it should
knocking,
actually be.
where we were knocking on doors to make sure that he won the seat to be governor of Bayelsa State.
About that time, you became also the first governor's representative here in Abuja.
Well, yes, that was after I had locked horns with Alamisia, blessed memory, His Excellency DSP Alamisia. I was a challenger, but from a different party. And he said, "Who is this woman?" Because I wasn't really well known in Bayelsa State. I was in America. I was an assistant professor of mass communication and institutional research. And the opportunity came. We were doing some things back in the United States, and I was told, "Come down. You can make a change. You can do something." And of course, I didn't have the misgivings. I didn't have the timidity. I had a lot of confidence in myself in the first place. So for me, it was a piece of cake. He now said, "Look, let's do this. Let's have this woman represent us at the federal level." And so I became the pioneer governor's special representative in Abuja, Bayelsa in Abuja.
What does that office do?
At that time, because I had the privilege of actually writing the concept paper, we were now to interface with all the ministries. Go knocking on the ministries and say, "What do you have for Bayelsa? When you're writing your budget, please remember us, and this is what we want to do." I won't be bashful to say that I elevated that position.
I still want to dig deep into your past a little bit. I know for 14 years, almost 15 years, you were doing my kind of job.
I was, and I started from the very beginning. I started after my higher school certificate, that was in 1967. I was teaching at Maria Goretti, high school in Benin. And I was teaching English, and I was also the choir mistress. And at that time, the radio stations would go around and they would have...
recruiting people?
No, not recruiting people. Having different choirs of the different schools. That was in Benin, because I started broadcasting in 1968. And so Samuel Benitier, who was a producer at that time, was a producer of, I think it was variety programs where the children would come. So I was always leading the school, and he said, "Wow, what a voice." And so that was how I segued from teaching at Maria Goretti into broadcasting, into radio. It wasn't radio, it wasn't FRCN then.
Okay.
We were Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation.
At the NBC.
That is NBC in Benin. So I started out as a continuity announcer. Oh my goodness,
How was it like that? When you want to open, why was it like
open, dun, 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 dun. That was the old call signal. And I used to remember how it was, the van would come round and honk, and sometimes I wouldn't have woken up. And I'm the one who was supposed to open the radio station.
Oh my God.
Many times my father would just say, "Don't worry, I'll bring her.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, I'll bring her." And he would then drive me,
Oh, Daddy dearest.
Oh, Daddy dearest. Daddy dearest. That man was just a wonderful person. And I hope that he's looking at me from heaven now and saying,
smiling.
yes, that's my daughter. So started out as an announcer, did a lot of announcing. And by 1980, I was a principal producer. 1980, I was a principal producer of features and documentaries. And that was where I was until 1982.
When you went to
when
America
I left
to
for
study.
America to study.
And you still pursued the same thing, must go.
Yes, I did. I did because I loved it so much.
You know, that's a good one. You have been this voice for women. I know that at a point you were the DG for Women Development Center.
Yes, I was.
And your experience there, did it add up to what you're doing with the 65 for women?
Well, yes. Every experience that you have going through life adds up. You don't pass through a particular phase of your life and just jettison. When I went to the National Center for Women Development, we were passing through a period after Mrs. Babangida, who started the Better Life for Women. And I took over from another Bayelsan dynamo, I call her, a woman, Dr. Tinebi Korpamo Agare. She was the Director General there. And then she had opened up the space for us to work with a lot of development partners. So I continued with that. I remember also that I was the one that brought in the technology arm. What is it called now? It's still there, that the Americans brought. We were the ones that made sure and concretized that technology center. Was it the Bola Gate Technology Center? And brought in a lot of people. We had a lot of workshops for women. Even today, the National Center still does a lot of training for women in tailoring.
I see a lot
Yes.
happening there. Even cooking, plastering, tiling.
We opened a lot
I
of
saw a
things.
lot
We
of it,
opened up another wing. The Hall of Fame for Women was there. It was already a concept, but then I brought it to prominence by bringing Agbani Derego. I'm just remembering
Yes.
now, when she became Miss
Universe.
Universe. We were so excited. So we brought her and she reopened that arm of it, and we had her picture there so that we could celebrate women who had done so much. We also had some structural things that we did. We reshaped the hostel, which was for women, and then the guest houses we completely renovated, overhauled and renovated. And one of the things that I was very happy about was the grounds. The grounds, I couldn't, because my father was a civil servant, but he was a horticulturist of sorts, because he was the president of the Horticulturist Association of Benin. And so I cannot not have a beautiful environment. So we had that lawn. It was always so very nicely mowed, and the grounds people did a good job.
I'm happy that the legacy is still there up to now,
Yes.
because I visit the place and I see it's still looking sparkling. But then let me move to what has been staring me in the eye, and that's the 65. I know when I saw this and I was a bit confused. I had to ask, is it 5:15 5 or 6, which of them? And
Quarter
then
past
65. I know it's something you're doing
for the elderly.
For the elderly, not just aged, okay? So what gave concept to this?
Well, I turned 75. And like I have been known to say, I'm not going to roll over and play dead. Not for anybody. Because there's still so much that I believe that I can give. Before then, I started the Ayamara Foundation and focused on widows, orphans, youths, and especially the girl child. And we've been doing a lot of mentoring, not on a very large scale, but enough that one's own private resources and maybe some friends can handle, can carry. So we've been doing that. And then at 75, I looked around and I said, there are many people like me around, but I don't see a dedicated awareness program for them. A program that would talk about their experiences, their successes, their pains. Because growing up, having children, you go through a lot of phases after the honeymoon period, even though one should work hard to keep that honeymoon period going. But then there is the emptiness syndrome, and the children leave, and then you are there, nothing to do. And I don't believe in that. And I have some people that I have used as my role models to say, I am going to do this. And I don't know whether I should name them. One of them is a mentor to me. It's a mentor, is a father, Chief E.K. Clark. Chief E.K. Clark started his university, Edwin Clark Kiagudo University, at 85. And I said, wow, there's still so much left. You can do so much as long as you are mentally equipped to do that. And the other person, I hope to be able to interview him during my next season, is Baba Afe Baba Lola, SAN, who has the Abuja University in Ado Ekiti. He too started that university at that time, and it's one of the best universities. And I said, if these people can do that, starting at that age, then I still have a lot of oil left in me. As long as the Lord gives me life, I will be able to achieve. And there are so many of us that are out there that people don't know about. And so, 65 is a program that will highlight the disappointments, the challenges, the successes, and then focus on some of those challenges and how to overcome them. And then also bridging the gap between those of us who are supposed to be on this side and those of them who are on that side. Bridge the intergenerational gap. Because the young ones have a lot to learn from us.
True.
And we should keep young by also learning from them.
Do you still find time to exercise? Cool.
Oh yes. I still love cooking, even though I do it less and less. Because if I put my hands into water too much, I get cramps. Okay. But there are still things. I still do my gardening.
I see a lot of garden outside, a lot of flowers.
Yes.
And when I enter, I say, wow, is this a horticulturist? And I get it's from...
it's from my father and also my mother.
Oh, okay.
Both of them happened to love flowers a lot. Yes.
They're all natural. It gives you more...
It gives you more oxygen. It gives you more oxygen.
That's beautiful. It's so lovely, having a chat with you. But I won't leave until I've asked you what would be your philosophy for life, how would you want to be remembered in years to come?
Remembered in years to come. Here was a woman who came through, tried to conquer life by doing the best that she could do according to the dictates of God. Do right. Faith, hope, and charity. You have faith in God, your maker. You hope, you believe that He's going to take you where He has destined that you should be. And then charity.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for coming on the show. I've been talking to an amazing personality, a lady who has elevated the status of women in Nigeria, in Bayelsa. And I call her, a mini geriatrics, and she'll answer you because I know she's done a whole lot around that environment, still doing a whole lot around that environment. Thank you so much for coming on the show. All right. We'll see you again next week when we bring you another amazing, exciting personality. Don't forget, women we bring you here are women who will just have a way of transforming with their family story.